Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm very excited and just so happy and grateful to be checking out Avi Kaplan's new song, Healing. Now, I feel like my soul's in a very good place, but Avi has a way of truly healing the soul when listening to his music. It's remarkable. For those who don't know, Avi Kaplan was the bass singer for Pentatonix and then branched off into his own solo music and has really found his place in the musical world and always makes just the most authentic, gorgeous music with that bass voice. So that's what we're doing today. This will be my first watch and listen for this new song by him. Guys, please do like this video. Please subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell for notifications. Leave a comment for the algorithm. Could be saying something as simple as Avi is awesome. Anything. And if I'm enhancing your listening experience, which is my whole goal here on this channel, to bring music education and entertainment to the masses and just help you guys love these artists even more and hear nuance that you didn't hear before. If I'm doing all that, please do consider joining my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. And without further ado, let's check out Avi Kaplan's new song, Healing. Something really cool about this intro, so obviously we just have piano. Now if you listen, you can actually, so this is obviously not recorded with like input into a software program. This is actually recorded like mic to piano. And how you can tell is you can hear all the extra sounds around. You're not just getting the tone input, you can hear the pedals. You can hear the piano player working the pedals. You can hear the kind of nuance in the key sounds that only get picked up when recording in an acoustic setting like that. So that's just a really interesting take, and that's what you'd expect from Avi. You know, he has a very natural approach to his music, a very natural approach to his singing as well. And but it's just cool. You don't often hear a kind of intimate recording like that in a professional setting where you can actually hear the pedals of the piano being worked. That's really neat. And we're in D major. E.
House on fire, but there's no one home. Cloud of smoke, and we've all moved on. I've heard it said there's a reason why that I just can't find, but I have to try.
Man, this is the music. This is the music Avi was meant to make. He was such, an exceptional bass singer for Pentatonix, the most successful a cappella group of all time. Absolutely amazing. Like, go back and listen to his stuff with them. But this music is where his soul lies. It's where his soul speaks. I think he starts up on a B natural and gets up to a D4, high D there, and Avi he's got such great range. First of all, he's a very low bass, so he has a super low chest range, but he's been known to get up to like high G's and stuff in chest as well. So just just excellent range in his chest voice. And what I love about Avi's voice so much that most basses don't have is such incredible vocal control. So he can riff and he can run, and it's all so incredibly accurate, and he can do it in a live setting, no problem. It doesn't need to be a studio recording for him to do it. So it's rare that a low bass voice has that much agility in their sound. And of course, just the warm, dark, kind of breathy tone, a little bit of rasp that he approaches just gives his music so much emotional gravity.
Cloud of smoke, and we've all moved on.
And that beautiful, easy vibrato that comes into his voice, which I know he did some training in undergrad in classical voice, and I think that's probably where he learned some about breath support. You don't need to get formal training to figure out breath support. In a fully operatic setting, you really do. That takes a lot of training. But to get the requisite breath support to sing non-operatic repertoire, good singers figure it out, you know. But Avi has great breath support. It's always a very clean, consistent tone. And when he puts vibrato in there, it's just like a sine wave. It's just absolutely smooth and consistent.
There's no one home. Cloud of smoke, and we've all moved on. I've heard it said there's a reason why.
So there's up that middle D, D4. What he's doing with each of these notes, kind of, there's a reason why. He's like attacking the start of them and then pulling off. There's a reason why. Which is kind of a cool instead of there's a reason why. There's a reason why. Right? He's kind of attacking the note in the start and then pulling it off, and then usually allowing vibrato to come in at the end.
And we've all moved on.
All moved on instead of all moved on. Either one is cool. Either one's great. This is just artistic choices, but that's definitely his approach for this song.
Cloud of smoke, and we've all moved on. I've heard it said there's a reason why.
There's a nice contrast there. Heard it said there's a reason why. So he really sustains that high note, that high D, or middle D, and then does that kind of pulsating feel on the lower parts.
Heard it said there's a reason why that I just can't find, but I have to try. Saw a man with his head in his hand, a tattered heart and his soul in the sand. I couldn't give him reasons, I couldn't tell him why, even if I tried, even if I tried. But
that's what I'm talking about. So I really wasn't expecting. I always expect some riffing from Avi. I wasn't expecting it until later in the song, nor was I expecting a high F sharp. That's what I'm talking about. That's that chest range I was just talking about. Beautiful high F sharp in that really high chest belt range. I love how intimate he's willing to get. Like he'll go from those loud belts to almost singing completely off the voice, almost like a whisper, and go back and forth between the two. He really keeps that pulsating motion in his singing throughout this second verse here. And yeah, and I love how simple the music video is too. That really fits Avi's vibe. Like he's not a super flashy artist, you know. As far as I know, his preference is being out in nature, you know, which I can totally relate to, having grown up literally in the woods on a mountain. I have learned to like cities. There's certainly pros and cons to everything, but my happy place, my forever home, when that happens, will for sure be somewhere in nature, or where I can escape to nature quite easily. So we are kindred in that way. Anyway, love it. It's just excellent so far.
I couldn't give him reasons, I couldn't tell him why.
Why? So F sharp, E, D, B, A. So that would be using a pentatonic scale going down. Mi, re, do, la, sol, la, do. Pentatonic scale. Penta meaning five scale tones. It's just Do, re, mi, sol, la, sol, mi, re, do. You hear a lot of folk likes using pentatonic scales. I think there's a number of gospel songs that use pentatonic scales. It works really well for riffing, exactly what he just did. That movement in his voice, pentatonic scales work nicely for that because there's jumps in the scale, so it kind of helps separate note to note. Sometimes if you're doing riffing just note to note to note to note, unless you're really clean and accurate, it can seem a little muddy or slidey. If there's a pentatonic scale, the notes are inherently going to be a bit clearer because there's more space between them as you go through the scale.
Even if I
want to listen to that again, though.
I couldn't tell them why.
Also, really clean up there. Historically, excuse me. Historically, when I've heard Avi belt that high, usually there's a more breathiness and raspiness to the sound. This is a very clean belt. There's very clean phonation happening at the level of his vocal folds when doing this high F sharp. They're not being blown apart, which I think is actually a sign that he's actually improved his technique a little bit, singing in that upper chest range.
Reasons I couldn't tell them why. Even if I tried, even if I tried, but there's a healing, there's a healing, there's a healing.
Amazing how simple an arrangement can be or a chord progression, but if done with the right assembly of voices and instruments, it can be so powerful. That's this to me. I mean, we've got his voice. There's a heap. So that's that high F sharp again. Clearly, this time opting for a falsetto, very light head voice mechanism, and he repeats that. And in the background, we have choir. We have an assembly of voices. I don't know if that's Avi who multi-tracked himself or if it's an actual choir that he's hired to be a part of the studio project, and then piano, and the same chord progression throughout. Yet it is healing, is it not? It's beautiful.
I try, but there's a healing, there's a healing.
I think they're saying healing in the background. It's hard to tell when they start if it goes to I think by the end of that sustain, it sounds like there's an E vowel there. He, whatever it is. And yeah, the choir's all out here in the left and right ear, and then we've got, of course, Avi's voice right in the middle. That's up to an A4, so just below, minor third below tenor high C, again, keeping that light falsetto mechanism.
There's a healing, there's a healing. Had love, but they had
what did he say there?
but they had love, but they had
love, but they had love.
Gave it all.
Is that what he says there? Maybe the captions are wrong.
Had love, but they had
love, but they had enough. Had love, but they had love. It's actually tough to hear.
love, but they had
Enough, I think.
Gave it all, but they gave it up. There's gonna be a time that it turns out fine, but it ain't tonight, and that's alright.
It's a very, very similar approach vocally to the second verse. Again, really when he hits those high notes, sustaining it, breast supported, usually adding some vibrato, and then the lower stuff is this kind of pulsating feel. It's almost like a heartbeat. What's this first one? Love had love, but they had enough. And then almost gets off the voice by the end of these phrases.
Had love, but they had gave it all, but they gave it up.
Like that. Love, but they had enough. And then this one. Gave it all, but they gave it up. Just like little variations like that, even though he could have done them the exact same. That just it adds a nice little flair to these phrases.
All, but they gave it up. There's gonna be a time that it turns out fine, but it ain't tonight, and that's all.
Interesting chord in the piano there. Comes in for just a second.
Ain't tonight, and that's
something with an E flat in there, which is the a half step above the tonic, which is why it sounds so interesting. I wonder if it's a Neapolitan chord.
but it ain't tonight, and that's all right.
Almost sounds like an E flat diminished.
Ain't tonight.
I'm actually not sure what's going on, to be honest with you guys.
But it
Trying to hear the other.
Tonight, and that's all.
I can't quite hear it. There's an E flat in there, which would make it a flat. That's the flat second degree of the D major, which is why it sounds. You're like, whoa.
But it ain't tonight, and that's all right. 'Cause there's a there's a
It seems like more voices in the background or more involvement from them. They're very clearly saying healing now, or heal. And the piano actually, the piano in this second chorus has more movement than it did in the first chorus. Otherwise quite similar though, but you can feel it. There's more energy in this second chorus.
there's a
And I think, just based on what I hear timbrally from those choral bits, I think that is his voice multi-tracked. I don't think it's other voices.
there's a there's a there's a
Piano.
there's a
Flag that piano part pops off there. Right there.
there's a there's a there's a healing, there's a healing.
Give me the low D.
There's a heat.
Gorgeous. I'm always selfishly rooting for Avi to sing a low note because his low notes are just so beautiful, but he's really good at holding them back because I envision he doesn't want his song to turn into any kind of gimmicky bass show-off thing. He's so much about the music, you know. He really serves the music, and sometimes low notes add to the music and the message, and sometimes they can be distracting from it. As a bass voice who loves low notes, they almost always add for me. That sometimes if it's something extremely low, then maybe not. But if it's in the singer's very usable regular range, like if Avi had ended that song like humming like a if he had just ended humming like a low D, I'd been like, yeah, that's nice. If he had done like a D1 growl at the end, I'd be like, that doesn't work. That doesn't fit in this song. But I do like how he ends on some a little bit of Avi soulful humming.
There's a heat.
And you can hear when he starts to drop into the bass register how much there is. There's a just that lowest note that you're like, oh man, he's got so much room below that. The voice just like thickens and warms so much.
There's a heat.
Oh. See, maybe could have been nice, but that's one I'm probably gonna do soon. But let's go back here. Okay, so awesome. This is just so Avi and so, on brand for his journey he's been going on since he broke from Pentatonics. Just this soulful, simple folk music with just authentic feelings and emotions and beautiful writing and beautiful text and poetry. It's why, everyone that knows his music loves him. Like, we all love Avi's music, and this is why. It is beautiful, soul-healing music that I think anyone who listens will be like, yes, this is so good. Anyway, guys, that's it. Hope you enjoyed this first-time watch and vocal analysis of the great Avi Kaplan. Please do leave a like and comment and subscription on your way out. Hit the bell if you want to see more. And please do consider joining my Patreon for as little as $1 a month if I made you appreciate Avi and or music just a little bit more. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.